So today we're working on the 2017 WX again. We're doing the MAP lab as of right now, MAP sensor. That sensor is going to be on the top of the intake manifold right there. And then for that, we went to the wiring diagram to find some of the voltages, with the location of the voltages. We figured out that the blue wire is going to be that constant 5-volt supply, as we measured it with our voltmeter and found that to be true. And then we can look at the black and yellow wire that's going throughout the system, and we grounded that. We provided voltage to that system and got negative 12 volts, showing that that is a ground, leaving us with green and red wires. Because in our case, our sensor, if you take a look at it, it also has similar attributes to an IET sensor. Temperature sensor and a MAP sensor, which is both. And you can see on the back here, there are 4 wires showing the 5-volt supply, the ground, the MAP signal, and the IET signal. We're gonna prove how we found out between the red and the green wire, which one is for the MAP sensor.
All right, so in order for us to prove which one was the IET signal and or the MAP signal, so we started off with back probing it on the green and black wire. And so we just brought a heat gun and we're just gonna apply a little bit of temp on the sensor and see if it changes. So as you can see, it's changing with heat. So of course, as heat goes up, the voltage drops should increase. And that's how we found out that it's not the green and black wire that we're gonna use for this lab, but it's gonna be the red one.
So now we have our MAP sensor connected to a little pressure pump. With ours, we had to get a little creative with our solution on how to seal it, but it does seal so we can get a proper reading. At atmospheric pressure, we're getting about 1.9 volts. And then you'll see as we squeeze it and the pressure goes up, the vacuum goes up, you'll notice the voltage going down accordingly. And then on the lab, we did actually get a little more accurate measurements off camera. Around 15 inches of vacuum, we were getting about 1.6 volts. And then increasing that to 18 inches of vacuum, we were getting about 1.5 volts. All right, so now we have the car running. You can see that the MAP is reading 7 inches of mercury. That is going to be the vacuum. And the MAP sensor signal is reading 0.77 volts. And then as the pressure increases, there we go. You'll see the pressure increase there, and it's a little hard to catch, but I hope we saw that. You'll also see the voltage spike. It went up to about 1.3 volts, showing that as the pressure increases, the voltage also increases. Now onto our MAF sensor. It's here on the back of the airbox. It's a heated wire type. We're gonna go take a look at our wiring diagram. You can see that it's a mass airflow sensor and an IET sensor, showing that our vehicle does have two IET sensors. There are 5 wires into it. Our first wire, the number 1 pin is gonna be a ground. The number 2 pin was actually a 12-volt signal we were seeing, being received from the ECM. And then between the third and the 4th wire, we weren't sure which one was the signal for which sensor. So we did the test like we did before with the MAP sensor. We probed the 4th pin, and then to obviously have the sensor out, we blowed it with a heat gun, and we saw that the voltage was dropping as the heat increased, showing that was the IET sensor. So currently we have the 3rd wire probed, and we will be testing the MAP sensor.
All right, so we have it back probed right there, the other signal wire, just to make sure it is the actual airflow signal one. And this is the current reading, so we're going to apply some sort of airflow to There you go. And so as you can see, as there's some airflow being applied to the airflow sensor, the voltage reading will go up, and that's what we saw. Okay, so right now we have vehicle is in idle. It's back probe. The sensor is in the actual in its housing, and this is the reading right now. And then as we apply the RPM, the airflow is going to increase, and so is the voltage. All right, so that also proves us that we did back probe the correct signal wire.
So just as a little additional test, we went ahead, unplugged our MAF sensor, and then we're gonna show what happens when you try and crank it. As you can see with our vehicle, it will actually start and run pretty all right, because we do also have that MAP sensor contributing to the operation of the vehicle.
All right, so the engine is currently at normal idle conditions. So if we unplug the MAF sensor, there's like it's not really, it might not be really it can't be, it's probably not really heard of, like you can't really hear it as much, but it uses the MAP as backup, so it hesitates a little, and then it just kind of like it's like running pretty well right now. And then as soon as you plug it in the process, it tries to relearn it, try to catch up on the signal of the MAP sensor, but while it's at it, it kills it.